All right, so today I'm going to demo its project number H, the greeting card or anti-greeting card. So the first step is going to be to decide what size paper you want to create your greeting card on. I went into Google and I just Googled greeting card dimensions, and then this Pixlr software that we use, when you go to create a new document, you need to know the pixels instead of inches. So I made sure I put the word pixels after that. And then Google gave me a recommended size for my greeting card. So it says 1794 pixels by 1287. So I'm going to choose the bigger of the two numbers to start with. So 1794. I'm going to paste that into the height because I want my card to be taller than it is wide. And then 1287 for the width. I need to give it a name, so I'm going to name it greeting card. Let's say 5th hour. And then choose whether or not you want it to have no background, or if you toggle the background on, you could choose whatever color you would like to create the background. I'm going to start with no background. So it's just going to make a plain page when I say create. You can see there's the little checkerboard pattern that shows you that it is transparent. There's no color actually on the page right now. Then instead of drawing something on here, I'm going to go and find at least one, if not a few different PNG files. Remember, those PNG files are the ones that have a transparent background, so you don't have to cut around everything. So if I go into the classwork tab, I can find that PNG files resource. Remember, I made a folder with some PNGs, but there's also this PNG egg, and there's this free PNGs that you can search through to try to find different images to use. I'm going to start with this PNG egg. I'll type in, let's say maybe flowers. And then it's going to give me a whole bunch of different flower pictures that already have the backgrounds removed out of them. So let's say maybe I want to try this cherry blossom tree. Remember, this website is funded primarily through ads, so you'll probably need to go through a few different steps to actually download the picture. You're looking for this kind of teal colored download PNG for free tab. I want to close out of the ad. And then it may ask you to do something to prove that you're not a robot trying to download it, or it may start downloading automatically. And now my picture is in my downloads. I should be able to go back to the Pixlr tab and then just drag and drop this file right into my document. If you click Create New, that would open up the picture in a new tab or a new document. We want to add to the document that's already there. So I'm going to click Add Current. And that's going to bring this picture into the software. I can get my Arrange tool and I can change the size of this. I can change the placement of it. If there's any parts of this that I want to erase, I can still use the scissors tool Remember to click on the layer that you want to use the scissors tool on. And then you can use any of the tools up top. I'm just going to use the lasso mask. I want to add to the mask, or not add to the mask. I want to remove from the mask so it draws in red. And take that little area out. If there's anything else that you want to remove from the picture, you can. So then even after I have erased that little logo part, I can go back and I see down here at the bottom, I have this line where the original picture was. So I'm going to move this down so that I don't create that weird line in my picture. Then maybe I want to look up another picture, or if I want to copy this picture to use a second version of it. If I want to copy it, I can go over to the layer settings in my layers panel on the right and click duplicate layer. That will give me a second copy of the same thing. I can always flip it. Let's say I want it to look like it's going the other direction. Maybe I want to change the size of it a little bit. If you want another picture, you can always go back and download another PNG. Let's say I want to look for different cherry blossoms. And I can try and find something else that goes with it. Or if you're partway through and you decide to change your picture, let's say maybe I like this cherry blossom picture more, I can always bring this one in. Make sure you add to current instead of clicking create new. Change the size to whatever you would like. And then I can turn these layers off. Let's say maybe they didn't work out how I wanted them to. And I have a different picture as my card base now. The next thing I'm going to do is add a background to the card so that it's not just a transparent color, which would show up white in the end when you saved the picture. So I'm going to get my shape tool, and I'm just going to draw a shape the size of the card. Make sure that you drag this shape that you made down underneath anything that you want above it. So remember, over in the layers panel in this right-hand side, whatever's at the top is what you are going to see first. Anything that covers up needs to be below it in your layers panel. To change the color of this rectangle, I can click on this fill color. I can either choose any color, or if there's a color in my picture that I want to use, I can click on this little eyedropper and I can choose a color from in the picture to use as my background color. And you'll see it pops up a little circle of what color you're choosing every time you use that little eyedropper. So wherever you're hovering over, it will give you a sample of what color you are choosing. Once you've designed the background and the picture on your card, the last thing to do is add text. So I'm going to get my text tool, click where on my picture I want to add the text, say that yes, I want to add text layer, and then you can get to all the different text settings from that top panel. Any of the text that has the yellow crown on the right-hand side, those are the ones that you have to have the paid subscription to the software to use. But you should be able to find a variety of texts that are free to use. Just make sure you're sticking to the ones that don't have the yellow next to them. If your text isn't on the page where you want it to be, so like mine's in the center, and I kind of want it to be up here in the right-hand side, I'm going to click and drag my text up where I want it to be. Put some type of words to show what kind of card it is. If you're using this move tool to move your text around, if you want to change anything about the text after that, you need to make sure you go back to this text tool, which is the T on the left-hand side. That's how you'll be able to change the color of the text. Like, let's say I want it to be this real light pink color. You can change the size of the text. So you could make it larger or smaller. You can change how far apart your lines of text are. You could change your letter spacing. You could make things bold or italicized. You could make all uppercase letters. You can change the alignment, so aligning to the left, aligning in the center, or aligning to the right. And then you can also change the style. So that's if you want your text to curve. So let's say I want it to arc down or arc up. I can adjust those. If I want it to look like it's going in a circle, if I want it to spread out on the circle or go on the bottom of the circle, I'm going to click flip. If I want it to do a half circle, if you want a background color, let's see, there's also if you want to outline, and you can choose what color you want to outline your text in. You could choose to punch the text out. That's going to only leave your outline color and make the actual text color the same as the background. And you can adjust how thick that outline is. You could also adjust how far away, so kind of like a drop shadow for the outline. You can change which direction your shadow is in. And you can add just a simple drop shadow. So again, that's the styles up here where I'm changing what my text is looking like. So I can add a shadow. I could add an outline. I could add a background which is filling in whatever shape your bounding box is around your text. And you can also curve your text. When you're done, make sure you're going up to File, Save, and as you're working on things, make sure that you are saving as a PXZ or a PXD and clicking that you want it saved non-destructively so that it saves all the different layers at the highest quality. If you save as a JPEG, it will save everything just as a flat photograph. If you save as a PNG, it will save anything that is transparent, will remain transparent, but it won't save any of your different layers. A WebP will save like a flat picture. So we want the PXZ, or you may see PXD depending on how your computer is set up. And just make sure that you click non-destructive. When you've downloaded your picture, remember to transfer it to your Google Drive. So I'm going to show in the folder location, and then I want to drag this into whatever folder on my Google Drive I'm saving all my pictures to. You should have that folder set up that you shared with me at the beginning of the year. Remember, the Chromebooks are frequently going through and deleting your downloads, so please make sure that you are saving everything to your Google Drive because the Chromebooks do not delete anything off of your Google Drive.